bring in Major Mohammed Ali Shah at this point, defense analyst joining us on the broadcast. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, how are you interpreting these comments by the United States President?
Uday, the moment you point one finger at anybody else, three fingers are pointing at you. So I think rather unfair to say India's stand is shaky. Well, US tells India to take a stand. First, let US clarify their stand. And why should they put us in trouble? Why should they provoke us to take a stand which would not be in favoring of India? And supposing India does take a stand also and India speaks against Russia, will the war end? The US has imposed sanctions after sanctions on Russia, has told the entire Western power that are speaking against Russia, has the war stopped? Has President Putin stopped taking those actions? Now in the year 2016, India and United States had signed the Logistics Exchange Memorandum of Agreements, and India was declared a major defense partner of the United States. India is a member of the Quad as it is. India also is one exceptional nation which yet maintains a neutral stand and yet buys cheap discounted fuel, oil from Russia. Now let me tell you one more thing, one more fact. According to the Kelly and Laycock's book, the United States has invaded or fought in 84 of the 193 countries which has been recognized by the United Nations, and has been militarily involved in 191 out of 193 countries, a staggering of 98%. And US tells us that our stand is shaky. Look who's talking. Secondly, well, thirdly, I would say, there are only three countries. There are only three countries in this entire world. I wonder if people are aware of this. America has not invaded or has never seen a military presence in any of these countries. Andorra, Bhutan, and Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is on the Austria and Switzerland border. It's very dependent on Switzerland for that matter. US has only not been involved with these countries. They have been involved with us in military, as I just told you. In 2016, we signed a pact with US. So when US talks big, they are pushing. And let me see, the crux of this problem is because US gave false hope to Ukraine that they will enter NATO. And I think again, it's rather immature, it's very childish of President Zelensky again. Though you clap with both hands. Just few days back, the world witnessed to the fact that he said that Ukraine is not interested in NATO anymore. But of late, recently comes out and tells US, now please tell us what stand have you taken? Would you be getting us into NATO or not? For what joy? They have already cleared the stand. They are not interested in NATO anymore. And the whole problem, the whole crux of the matter was that only. It started from there. They always say prevention is better than cure. And US and NATO symbolically, for lip service, they are sending troops, all right. The numbers they're sending, earlier also to those nations, is that number enough to fight a war? A war which is a very, very expensive business. Russia is going to drown. There's no doubt about that. There's no denying that. Right? Russia is, despite the sanctions that US has invoked and everything, they are in for self-destruction. And they are sure of that. But they will take Ukraine along with them. They will take other countries along with them. You take the example of the First World War. 20th June 1914, when a Serbian nationalist had assassinated in Bosnia the Austria-Hungary heir. That time the war started and the domino effect started. But then in 1917, it took so many years, 1914, 1915, 1916, it's only when 16, 17 and 18 March to 1917, when Germany attacked 3 of US ships and they drowned, then US stepped in the fore, and the same pattern was followed by US in the Second World War. 1st September 1939, when Germany attacked Poland, US came much later on. So it has been a practice. US has destroyed Iraq, has destroyed Libya, has destroyed so many countries. Syria was destroyed. They did the same thing with Vietnam. They did the same thing with North Korea. They did the same thing with so many countries. With Cuba, so many countries. So this has been a practice of the West. And yes, India has taken a very, very mature, prudent, balanced, wise stand in not affiliating itself with the war at all. Rather, India has only spoken peace.
Right. Okay. Major Mohammed Ali Shah, appreciate you joining us with your perspective on that story.